Good morning. Jeff Dayton here at Forest Creek Golf Club in lovely Round Rock, Texas. Today's Tip Tuesday, and on the eve of the Open Championship at Carnoustie, it's probably a good day to talk about how to play good golf in adverse conditions. It's kind of an interesting week in golf. You never know who's going to show up at the British Open. You never know who's going to get the short end of the draw, who's going to get the best weather in their draw, and a lot of times that determines, who's really around on the weekend. Sometimes if you're on the wrong end of the draw, you get the worst weather. It's kind of tough, but you've got to try to realize that everybody's playing the same conditions for the most part, and just keep everything in perspective. So, oftentimes when we play golf, it's nice and 70, 80 degrees, sunny. Usually for the average golfer, if the weather's too poor, we won't play. But sometimes it's fun to go out and test yourselves under the elements. A little bit of rain, a little bit of wind, kind of just gives that extra bit of challenge that we don't always get. So I recommend working on a few things when you're playing in adverse conditions. Number one, adjust your mindset. Realize that par might be a little higher that day. And, if you're playing in an event or playing against other guys or gals in your group, everybody's playing the same conditions. So just keep that in perspective. Work on solid ball contact. So when the wind's blowing especially, any mishit shot will be affected dramatically. So really work on maybe shortening your swing, taking a little more club, just trying to hit the ball solid. I think a good, especially in windy conditions, a good 3/4 swing oftentimes with maybe one extra club, just to flight the ball down a little bit, keep it out of the wind, and also ensure that you make solid contact will serve you well. When you're putting, short game is going to be very important in tough conditions because it's going to be harder to hit greens. So it's very important to develop a solid short game, work on your chipping and putting. As it pertains to putting, when you're on the green in really windy conditions, you might want to widen your stance, crouch a little bit more so the wind doesn't blow you off balance. But adjust your yardages going into the wind, adjust, a mile per hour, a yard of distance for every mile per hour, and downwind, the same. Oftentimes you think downwind, the wind's going to help you a lot, and it does often off the tee, but sometimes on your short iron shots, the wind can actually knock it down. So even going downwind, unless you want to hit a big tee ball, you probably don't want to get the ball too high in the air, even going downwind. You want to keep it out of the wind so you can control your distance. If the wind's blowing right or left, adjust where you aim to adjust not just for the wind direction, but how it's going to affect the spin of your golf ball. If you hit the ball from right to left and the wind's coming from the right, it's going to make that ball curve a lot more. Vice versa, if you hit the ball left to right and the wind's coming out of the left, it's going to make that ball curve a lot more. Sometimes the wind's coming out of the right. If you hit the left to right, you can actually use the wind as a buffer and fade it into the wind, let the wind knock it down on target, and vice versa. So there's different ways to play, but always factor in the wind. Always don't try to muscle your shots. Just take the extra golf club or two and make a smooth swing. Work on solid contact. So enjoy some of those days where the wind's blowing or it's a little cool or it's a little damp. Sometimes those are great days because some of the not so diehard golfers stay away and you have more course to yourself. So enjoy the Open this weekend. Should be exciting. And sometimes it's fun also to watch those great players struggle just a little bit. So enjoy watching. Keep practicing. If you're struggling with any part of your game, don't hesitate. Contact your local PGA professional. That's Tip Tuesday. Have a great day.